God bless you all, because this is right here. No lies come out of here. I just finished my, been working through the chronological gospel and trying to read it. So those who don't have access to it, or what is this that I'm getting? Those who read it, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. Anyway, I'm sorry. We're live. What am I doing that for? Um, so that took me away for a minute. Anyway, I'm reading that for those reasons, and because it's good exercise for me to practice reading and speaking, because I didn't do that since school, as you can tell. School was a long time ago for me. Anyway, I thought when I finished that, I would do a little chat about worship, because I'm not sure that a lot of people understand what worship is. I mean, you heard people make the statement or the comment, I'm spending my time or wasting my time or saving time. Time is the most valuable commodity that there is. There's nothing more valuable than time. You can take money. Actually, money is a surrogate. Money is a proxy for time, for energy. Time and energy, very similar. You can take cash and buy nearly everything you want, anything you want nowadays, pretty much. But one thing you can't buy is you can't buy another 10 minutes. You can't buy another 5 minutes. You can't buy time. The time that you're given by our King is all the time you get while you're here. So how you use that time, what you allot that time for, is spending your time. It's like spending your money. You are basically a debit card. You spend that time. So that valuable commodity is your attention and your time. And what you do with that and who you spend that on is your worship. Let's look up the definition, the Oxford Dictionary for let's worship. Let's look up what their definition for worship is. Worship. Okay, let's see. Respect for God or a god, saying prayers, singing with others, etc. A ceremony for this. That's what their definition, their first definition for worship. The second one is respect for somebody or something. Okay, kind of vague, and they're not telling you that say you go to a basketball game or a football game or a concert. You're going to sit with other people, and you're all going to put your attention on that one thing, that band or that team, right? You're spending that time paying your attention, your worship to that. Now, here's the weird part. You also paid for the privilege to do that. You've paid them so you can pay them with your attention. Paid them twice. The adversary is a slippery dude, man. The adversary has, he's got his ways. So not only are you using what finite amount of energy and life you have to observe and sometimes participate with shouts, and if it's a concert, you might sing along. But whatever it is that you're doing, you're participating with your energy. And you paid them so you could do that. Now, when you go to church, you're doing the same thing basically, except you didn't pay to get in there. Usually you didn't. Sometimes they take a collection, but you aren't charged at the door. I don't know if other churches do that. That doesn't seem, it just seems wrong. But anyway, now you get the picture. Those of you who don't go to church, church is basically everyone sits and a man either reads from the Bible or there's people who sing and we all sing together as a group, praising and worshiping one thing. Not the New York Jets, not the Los Angeles Lakers, not Led Zeppelin, him. So if you're going to do that, you shouldn't have to pay to do that. It just doesn't make any sense. Anyway, when I was younger, I used to love to go to concerts, and because I loved the feeling of all that energy and all that love. And when I finally got to perform on stage, that was even better because all that love. And for any of you who have done it, you know what I'm talking about. That feeling of having that attention and that love poured onto you is a high like nothing else. There's no high that can touch it. Okay. Now, when I perform at church and I play guitar and sing with our worship team, I feel that energy from the people, but it's not the same because we're all singing the same song and it's all pointed at him. It's hard for me to explain it, but I do kind of want to veer off a little and talk about this. Somebody asked me what it's like up there performing for the church. And there are moments when I'm up there and I'm playing, singing, and also trying to read the music to see where we're going, that I can I go above that, where I can see everything that I'm doing at that one time. And that place is like nothing I can explain to you. It is a place of peace and calmness and love. It's not the reason that I do the worship music. I do that to serve my King, but it is an ancillary benefit. It is amazing seeing all these people that are watching and participating with me in singing to our Creator, to our King, and not being there. I can't explain it. There's no words to tell you what that feeling is. Anyway, enough about me. Back to Yeshua. So when you're at home and you have the magic wand in your hand, that little stick, and you're flipping from this to that, you're changing your worship from this channel to that channel, looking at the title or the movie title, that this is what I want to spend the next hour doing. This is what I want to spend the next hour doing. Or you pick up a book, the good book, and you want to pick a place in there to read. It's all, how am I going to use my time? How are you going to use your time? What are you going to worship? What are you going to pay with your time that you have? And how did you learn it to do this? Think about what the people who raised you, I don't know your situation, but if your parents watched TV every day or your parents read books, chances are you do what they did. And if you don't, why did you go in another direction? Is it because you didn't want to be like them? And with today's society being what it is, we have entertainment. You have entertainment with this little box. Everywhere you go, you can watch a movie in the waiting room at the doctor's office. I try to monitor what I'm doing all the time. Who am I serving? What am I doing with my time? Am I being productive for him? Am I being helpful to my health? What am I doing? And who am I doing it for? What is the motive? I think these things a lot of us don't take into consideration. When I was younger, I would think about, what do I want to do? What do I want to get? Where do I want to be? When the hourglass has more sand in the bottom than in the top, you begin to think, what am I doing right now? What am I going to do right now? The next 5 minutes, the next 20 minutes, because tomorrow's promised to no one. I was having a chat with one of my brothers at church, and he had asked me about my faith, and he's like, "You have such faith. I hope I can get that kind of faith someday." And I said, "You already have it. You just don't think about it." And he said, "No." He goes, "I'm still working on my faith." I said, "Let me ask you a question. Before you go to bed at night, do you pray that the sun's going to come up tomorrow?" And he said, "No." I said, "Well, there you go. You assume the sun's coming up. You assume you're going to get up tomorrow. You're not praying and hoping that it happens. You expect it to happen because it's what happened yesterday. And it's what happened the day before. It's what happened when you were 10. And we all expect it. Right? We count on it, as a matter of fact. Most of us take it for granted. Though I am more cognizant of it now, and I try to be as grateful as I can and thank him every day for everything. And I know there are people who say, "Oh, I don't thank anybody because all this stuff that I have, I got myself." No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Every breath you've taken today is free. It didn't cost you a penny. Every breath, right? All the air. And if you're blessed enough to be able to get up and walk around, all of that, nobody charged you for any of it. The things that we just take for granted instead of worshiping and paying a little time back to the King. I think we owe him a little something, right? I know I owe him a lot. I spent a lot of years just not at all paying any attention to him. There are things that I've done. There are things that I've thought, right? And when you understand that you don't have to do the things, simply thinking or hating on people is just as bad as murdering them. The thoughts that you've had are just as bad as the deeds you've committed. So this is all part of what goes on in here. And everything goes on in here. Everything in your life goes on in here. There's nothing else. Everything out here is just a soup of air. It's the TV show that you see 24/7. It's the movie that you're in, that you're the producer, the director, and the star of. Right? Who's the executive producer? Right? Who cast you in this role? But the great thing about it is the role that you think you're cast in, you can change any day. You can change. You can be a better person. And what consists of a better person, Ron? Who decides who's a better person? Come on, you know who's a better person. We all know what constitutes being better. There are smart people who will, try smart words to say, well, that's all a matter of opinion. Who's doing that? No, it's not a matter of opinion. I went to see my doctor about my knee yesterday, and she had said something, and I turned and I said, "Yeah, I didn't. The user manual I got didn't give me the proper information on upkeep for this thing I got." She thought that was very funny, but it's true. We got a user manual. It's right here. Right? User manual. You think about all the good stuff that this country is supposed to be, that we were sold the basis of what the United States, what America is supposed to be. Life, liberty, pursuit of happiness. Everybody leaves everybody else to their own pursuits. Is that really what it is? Is that what we'd like it to be? What are we arguing over? Is your worship about CNN or Fox or the news on here? Is that all you do? Is that what you worship? The soap opera, As the World Turns, Fox, CNN, MSNBC? That'll make you crazy. And it is. It's no different than The Guiding Light, or I don't even know if any of those soap operas are still on. General Hospital, all the drama you could ever stand. Did you see what Trump did? Did you see what, Kamala said? Did you see what Elon's doing? What are you doing? What are you doing to help your community? What are you doing to help your family? What are you doing to serve your God? Are you serving your God? What is service? How can I help God? Prayer's a good start. Even better. I have just all I can do is share what I've learned and what I know. We're all a stew that's constantly fermenting, and different bits of information and spice are being thrown in. And we continue to bubble and grow into whatever it is we're going to become. And at this point, the bits that I've let float to the top and stick in my mind are: number one, how do I physically feel? Number two, am I serving my God? Number three, how can I do better? I'm sorry, a little dipsy in my head. How am I feeling? Am I serving my God? What can I do to help? Right? Because if the first answer is I'm not feeling good, then I have to feel better, or I can't do any of the others. Right? I know people are like, how can I serve God? How can I help God? There's a lot of ways. Right? Small little ways. You can pray. But I tell you what's not helping you, God. Worshiping a soccer game. Worshiping Taylor Swift. Worshiping Led Zeppelin. Joe Wilson. That's Joey. Hold on. Anyway, I was about done anyway. I got to call Joey back. Anyway, I love you. Yeshua loves you. And I hope we see you soon. God bless you all. You can do anything you want.